Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Avatar The Legend of Korra episodes 4 and 5 in Harm's Way and The Metal Plan, and this is in book 3, Change. Okay. I'm sorry that I'm like hellishly late, but I had to work today and it came out at 8, so. But luckily, with the cable that we have at my house, I get Nick in 2 different time zones, so I got to watch it when I got off today. So yes, that's awesome. These 2 episodes were awesome because of course it picked up where the last one left off at. I can't talk today. Y'all gonna have to bear with me, but it picks up where the last one left off at, where they were looking for the airbenders, and Korra knew that the Earth Queen was lying, and of course she was, because she said that she didn't know where though there weren't any airbenders in Ba Sing Se, and she was like kidnapping them and making them into her elite army, blah blah blah, which I never really liked Earth Queen. She was kind of an asshole and she was allergic to everything, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, so all of the earthbenders were being captured. Once they were found out that they were earthbenders, they were captured and put into like a army recruitment camp, well, involuntary recruiting camp, where they were being trained to be like the Earth Queen's elite army to protect her or whatever, even though she can protect herself because she's a bender. But anyways, so they were all down, like all the newfound airbenders were down there, including Kai, and they were all training and stuff, and he looked like the leader of the Dai League, which he looked like Long Fang from the original, so he's probably like Long Fang's probably like son or grandson. Well, he's probably like his son, because they act a lot alike. He is a lot like Lao Fang. I believe that's his name. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive it's Lao Fang. But so yeah, they were down there and he was ruthless, and Kai was trying to help the other airbenders, and dude just took out all his frustration on him, which was horrible. And then they locked him up. So Kai was like in a isolation chamber, but Jinora, whom is so freaking awesome, she's still able to pretty much astral project herself, like she did when she found Korra in the spirit world during the harmonic convergence. So she used this to find Kai, because at first they went to look for Lake Laogai, which was originally where the people in the Dai Li were hiding people in in Aang's story. So that was the first place they looked, and it was flooded. Like, it was completely flooded. There was nothing down there but like fish and stuff. So they weren't down there. So they had to figure out where they were, and they found out, like, Jinora used her connection with Kai, even though her dad freaked out a little bit. She used her connection with Kai to find him, and found him literally like almost immediately. So she found out where he was, and they devised this whole plan, and Korra of course was pissed because she found out that the Earth Queen was lying to her. So they devised this whole plan to go rescue Kai and all the other airbenders that they were holding hostage. And after their like whole spiel of fighting the Dai Li and like pretty much disobeying the Earth Queen, because she said that she has control over all of them, and that if they leave with the airbenders, then she would bring the whole extent of her kingdom down on them. So they did all this fighting, and all the airbenders fought too. It was pretty awesome. And Bolin, Kai, Jinora, and Mako were all like stragglers, because they went, of course, to go find Kai, and Bolin like shot them up into the air using his earth bending, and they all got away without a hitch. So that was pretty awesome. Everybody got away, all the airbenders got away, and it seemed like all of the it was so touching that all of the airbenders told Tenzin that they wanted to come to the temple, which I believe, was the way that he went about it, because he told them that they are no longer under the Earth Queen's rule. They're not property. They were never property of anybody, and now they really are no longer property of her. So they have their choice to either go and live somewhere safe or to come with him to the airbending temple. I believe it was the Southern Airbending, like Southern Air Temple, and like study and become nomads and just be peaceful and free. So all of them said they were going to come to the temple, and Tenzin started, like, he teared up. That was so sweet. I was like, oh my goodness, that's so precious. But yeah, this episode was pretty awesome. And then of course there was episode number 2, which was the metal clan. Yes, the metal clan. This episode was pretty awesome, because they show like Korra and Tenzin both went their separate ways, and of course Lin Beifong went along with Korra because they found out that the resistance, like the 4 people that were broken out of prison, were coming after Korra, and Korra finally finds out why she was so sheltered when she was younger, because they had originally tried to kidnap her, and that was when they got put in jail, which was 13 years prior. And that was why they had kept her sheltered for so long, because they didn't want them to find out where she was or what she was doing, because she was the Avatar. So they are coming for her. Like, those 4 are coming for her, and they are a force to be reckoned with. Oh my goodness, they are so freaking like, it's terrible, but they're so freaking awesome. Even though they are they're the new villains of the show, but just the fact that they are so freaking powerful after being locked up for 13 years is slightly scary, because they'd probably be even worse if they were actually out. So they all finally got together and they are coming for Korra. But they showed the leader, I cannot remember his name, saved my life, and I was practicing it because I couldn't pronounce it before. But he shaved his head and went to the Southern Air Temple to join the air nomads. Like, he let them know that he had just found out that he was an airbender and blah blah blah, whatever. But nobody knew who he was because he had shaved his head. So he came to the Southern Air Temple, where the rest of everybody else was, except for like Tenzin, because he went searching for more airbenders as well. And he was practicing with them, and they noticed that he was a little bit too advanced for him to just have found out that he was an airbender. So it came out that he was actually the leader of the resistance, and they all went after him and tried to fight him, and it did not work out too well. Tenzin's sister, can't remember her name either. I'm horrible with names, so please forgive me. But Tenzin's sister went after him, and he pretty much like beat the crap out of her and the other 2 people that were coming after him, and got away. So, but other than that, in that episode, we finally get to see, like, Korra found another airbender, and it turns out that it's Lin's niece, which means that Lin was going to have to see her sister. And she told Korra to not even let them know that she was there, because she didn't want to see her sister, and they never explain why in this episode, but I know we'll be finding out soon. So Opal, who is the newest airbender that has been found, was practicing with Korra, and she was a natural. Like, it was just beautiful and graceful watching them like bend together. And it turns out that Opal likes not Mako. Why can't I remember his name? It's like on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me in a second. But she likes Mako's brother, and Bolin. Yes, don't judge my life. Opal likes Bolin, and they were getting along pretty well, but Bolin said that she wasn't his type, even though she's gorgeous. Like, she is just so beautiful, and her eyes are so green and big and pretty. But let me stop fangirling a little. But anyways, they started getting along, and then finally, Bolin was like, well, she's not my type, but I can try to let her be my type, blah, blah, blah. She just might be my type. So they finally started to get along, and then Korra like took her away. And it turns out that the reason why Lynn did not want to see her sister was because her and her sister, like, they both have different dads. Like, of course, Toph is their mother. And Toph, because she grew up in such a strict household, if you watched Avatar, you know how Toph was brought up. Like, she was not allowed to do anything for herself because she was blind, even though she was, like, the world's best earthbender ever. And she probably always will be like the best earthbender ever. And she was the first person who ever invented metal bending, and it was just freaking amazing. Toph was by far my favorite character in Avatar, but I'm straying away from the subject. But yeah, because we know that Toph was so like sheltered, she let her children pretty much do what they wanted to do and let them figure out what they need to do with their lives. And in that way, they both turned out a way that she really didn't want them to, but in that they started fighting for her attention, and they eventually started hating each other. Well, Lynn started hating Sue. So Sue went on and did all this great thing, all these interesting things while she was away when she left when she was 16, and then she finally like made her own city with her husband, had 5 kids and everything, while Lynn is just always been by herself, and she's been this like bitter, like just hateful person sometimes. And I think we're going to find out in the next episode why she is that way. But Opal came to Lynn and told her that she wanted to get to know her, and she wanted to like her to be a part of her family, and Lynn pretty much just like casted her out of the room, and then she started crying, and that was the end of the episode. So things are getting really interesting. I love Legend of Korra, and I'm so happy that they're doing like a lot of episodes at one time, even though my videos are probably going to be really long. I'm sorry if this video is long. If you stayed and watched it all the way to the end, you're awesome, because I probably wouldn't have. But that's neither here nor there, because both of these episodes were freaking amazing. Legend of Korra is just by far probably one of my favorite shows ever, because it stems from Avatar, which was like the first show that I ever faithfully watched all the way through when it was on TV. Like, I made sure I saw every episode that came out because Avatar was freaking awesome. And the fact that this stems from that just makes this show awesome too. So that's neither here nor there. So as always, I would love to hear what do you think is going on in Lynn's head right now? Why was she crying at the end when she pretty much just like threw Opal out? Like, what do you think is going to be happening in the next episode? But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.